Okay guys, welcome to the STPL Season 3, Week 11. We're here for our second of the final four series of the group stage. This one's going to be SouL versus aSh. If you've not seen the STPL so far, which I highly doubt it at this point, it's best of 5 all the way to the finals, lineup selected in advance, all the games played at the same time, and Step 5 is the ace match, which means any player can play again. Now let's have a look at the two teams we're going to have in this series. Now this series, compared to the other two, is not actually going to have any bearing on the rankings, so this is why I decided to do this one today. SouL, top of the table, unbeaten so far, and it's going to be very difficult for them to be taken down. Now all time, they've won 53 series and lost 4. That's how strong SouL are. SouL are a very, very strong team. They've beaten aSh 3 times in the past. Are they going to continue that win streak? We'll have to find out. aSh have come out a little bit stronger this season. We're going to have Desakwe in game number 1. We're going to have the Ghost King himself, Radley, in game number 2. Dreamer and Shad as well coming out once again. It's been a while since Shad has played in the STPL, so it's kind of cool to see him back again. Let's have a look at the lineups we've got coming up. We're going to have Hero versus Desakwe. Hero is sexy, in case you don't know who that is. We're going to have Zealot versus Radley. We're going to have Spire versus Dreamer. And Mighty versus Shad. Now overall, I would say there's some pretty fun matchups here. We don't have a single mirror at all in this series, which is kind of cool. But basically, it should be a good series. Let's introduce our players. Starting us off here is going to be the We made Fox Pro Gamer Sexy, also known as Hero. He is unbeaten so far in the STPL. He's 100% against Protoss as well. Can he keep that up? Or are we going to have another win for Desakwe? Let's find out, because Desakwe has done pretty well. He did beat Kogut. Yes, he beat Kogut with a DT rush on the Mancha, but still, he could do the same against Sexy, and it could work. You never know what's gonna happen. Desakwe, I think, is from Croatia, if I remember rightly from that flag. I can't remember the flags though. I'm very bad at geography, so please forgive me. But it should be cool nonetheless. Looking forward to it. And let's have a look at the map they're going into. It is going to be La Mancha. First match of this series. Should be a lot of fun. So let's get into it. Okay, the game has begun, and starting us off in the top right hand corner in the green, fighting for aSh, it's going to be Desakwe. And his opponent down here in the bottom left hand corner in the blue is going to be it's going to be Hero, fighting for SouL. But is he going to be a hero this game, or is Desakwe going to be the hero as he gets a big upset? We'll have to find out. Looks like they were lagging a little bit. That is the one problem with having a global team league. The thing is, I would like to point out that Desakwe's blaming, well, he's trying to say Korea as if it's the fact that it's Korea's fault. They're both lagging. Korea doesn't, it's not like Korea's not lagging as well, but both players are going to be lagging here, so there is going to be a little bit of a problem. I mean, it is one of the problems with having a global team league. It's unavoidable. I mean, even if you have South American players playing with European players, you have exactly the same problem. Like, the only way you could get around it is doing regionalized tournaments, but there's not really enough teams anymore to do that kind of thing. And plus, I wouldn't want to do that. I like seeing all the players from all over the globe mixing together, so that's why we do the STPL the way we do. Customies, unfortunately, it's nothing Blizzard can do about it. And also, Matt Sherman is not a developer, he is a producer. He doesn't do any of the coding. That would be Grant Davies. And there's also a guy who, well, there was a guy, I don't know if he's still there, who does the networking stuff. He's a Korean guy called Taeyun, if I remember correctly. I mean, Lucky Noob's saying in chat if they wanted to do it, they could. I don't know if you've really played many online games, but if you're playing on two opposites, or if you're playing on the opposite side of the world, you're gonna lag. Like, it's just the way the internet works, unfortunately. Unless they do like a personal satellite uplink and beam it through space, then unfortunately it's gonna lag. Bob Malcolm's in Denmark though. Denmark has relatively good internet. I suppose SC, it may be just the way the game is designed. SC2 might be designed around the lag, so even though you may not see it lagging, it might lag a little bit or something. I'm not really sure. It's like rollback netcode in fighting games and stuff like that. Games are designed around that kind of thing to help deal with the lag, but Brood War is old enough that it really wasn't. It's like back when StarCraft first released, the fact you could do online multiplayer wasn't something that really was a thing that they designed it for. It was just kind of put in, and the like 5 people who had an internet connection and could play it together could play it together. Oh man, my eye is itching now as well. Damn hay fever, I hate the summer, man. Summer is by far the worst month, or the worst months of the year for me. It's just terrible. It's hot. Hay fever makes my eyes itch. It's not great at all. Nice micro by Desakwe so far though. Hero taking a little bit of damage on his first Marine. Not losing a Marine though. Showing how strong he is. Making sure to pull that damage Marine back. Now Desakwe is going for a Robo, so it is going to be a cheese again from Desakwe, although saying that he does have a Nexus coming up, so it's not a cheese, he's just playing standard and I'm blind. Yeah, summer is the worst month in the UK. It's also the worst season as well. Yeah, prolonged screen staring also does that. I realize that, but it's definitely my hay fever. It only affects me in like June to August. Okay, it looks like we're going to have Hero pushing forward here. It is going to be a 2-factory play coming in with speed and mines coming. This could be another very, very fast game. But let's see how this is going to go. If Desakwe moves forward far enough, I mean, he should know there's no expansion, but he's got no way of guaranteeing that. He hit a pylon to try and force Hero to go and scout somewhere else, but it's not going to do anything. Now, I think this could just be the end of the game. Now it looks like we are going to have mines coming in behind this. The Observer coming out at the right time, but it's still difficult. Looks like a load of the Marines going down to the probes. That's actually a very good move. But the problem is going to be these tanks. How do you stop the tanks? Desakwe going to save all of his probes at least. As I say that, they will stop for some reason. Now losing the Nexus isn't the end of the world. You've got to remember that this is a very late command center. But it's whether or not he can actually break down the ramp and kill the tanks. If he can kill the tanks, Desakwe is going to be in a pretty good spot. But we'll have to see how that's going to go. Because these 3 tanks are in a very, very good position. The mines coming down to make this even harder to push down. 3 gateways are done. We don't have a Robo support bay either. Now there are a lot of mines incredibly close to these tanks. If he can go for a big mine drag, that would be incredible. But it looks like he's going to clear his way through the mines. It is only 3 tanks. I mean, this isn't a lot of units, so realistically, I mean, these Dragoons should be able to clear up all of this, but a lot of them are damaged. And apparently, Dragoons are not as good as I thought they were, because if that was all of my units, all of my Terran units would have died there, so... There we go, looks like Desarque is going to be in a lot of trouble now. He lost a lot of Dragoons to do that. The target firing of Hero was incredible in that engagement. Now the expansion is up for Hero, looks like he's killing some of his own mines because he knows the DTs are not a problem. Mine drag is basically like mine deback custom use. It's where like you pull the mine onto the units. It's just the English name for it. Just like the friendly fire, yeah. Tank boom is a good one. I should call it that. That'd be really good. Like the art of dragging a mine is the art of aggroing, or the art of like attacking a mine and getting it to chase into your own units. How do I read that custom use? My Hangul is bad. I never actually sat and learnt it properly. Ah, mine deback is when it booms well for the opponent. Ah, okay. What would that translate to, custom use? I know mine deback is... I know what mine deback is, but I don't know what the other one is. Now Hero gonna move around with some vultures at the top of the map. Looks like we have got 2 observers heading towards the Terran's main. One of them is going to see a, quite frankly, obscene number of tanks here. For the amount of tanks he had, he's now up at 9 already. He's still building... Okay, I was going to say he's still building 2 at a time, but he's not. We've got, oh my god, look at this. He saw the observer, he scans it immediately, and he kills it. Now we've got a 3rd observer coming out here. There is a lot of observers being made in this game by Desarque. Now we do have a citadel up, we've got a lot of gateways, and we do have the Stargate done, so we will eventually have some arbiters coming in here. But obviously getting to that point is difficult for Protoss, especially when you're behind. And 2-base arbiter kind of relies on you either being even or ahead of the Terran, because if you're behind in supply, your first arbiter really isn't going to do too much. Now we've got vultures coming in as well to make the situation even worse. There was not a Dragoon in position to help defend against this. And we have fancy-esque vulture-style micro away from the Zealots here, killing so many probes. Nice pull-off with the probes, getting a couple of those vultures, but still, a vulture with 6 kills, about to get its 7th, about to get the 8th as well. And this is an incredibly good game for Terran. Like, I don't see a way that Desarque is going to be able to defend against this. He's going to be up against 12 tanks already. 12 tanks in 10 minutes is a ton. He's up against 5 factories as well. The 3rd base is coming in. +1 is on the way as well. +1 should finish about the time he gets outside of the Protoss' main. And I think this is going to be the end of the road for Protoss, because there's very little that Desarque can do here. He's fought his hardest, but unfortunately he's not going to have any upgrades for his Arbiter. His Arbiter is going to get shot down by the Goliaths, and there's already a lot of scan energy. There's 2 scans here, and there's 2 scans here, so I mean the Arbiter shouldn't do too much. Let's have keep an eye on this though. There's going to be a lot of vultures reinforcing this, so Zealot reinforcement shouldn't be the end of the line. It is only tanks, but as soon as the tanks start to siege up, that is when Protoss has to fall back. And the further you get pushed back, the closer you are to being trapped in your main. And if you get trapped in your main in PvT, it's essentially game over. Yeah, there we go. GG. Desarque knows when to give up. It's game over. And that's going to take us into game number 3 when we get back after this short break. Game number 2. Toss a coin to your content creators, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your content creators, a friend of humanity. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into game number 2, and that is the Brent Cross Mall. I've never actually been there, but I drove past it. But here we are. We're going to have Zealot for SouL. Zealot, a very, very strong Zerg player from South Korea. He's done very, very well in the STPL, heading on up into the top 20 of the ELO rankings. A very, very strong player. One of the most aggressive Zerg players in Korea as well. So really fun to see his games. He is going to be up against the one, the only, the Ghost King Radley himself. Now Radley, a very, very strong player in his own right. He's not done as well in this season of the STPL compared to previously, but no matter what the situation, he always gives us entertaining games. So I'm hoping this is going to be another one as we get into game number 2. Okay. The game has begun, and starting us off in the top left-hand position in the red, fighting for SouL, it's going to be Zealot. And Zealot's opponent spawning off here in the bottom right-hand corner. It's the Ghost King himself, it's Radley, fighting for aSh in the blue. Okay, I do wonder what we're going to have Radley do in this game. Looks like we are going to start with an 8 racks, so he is planning on being very aggressive here. But going for an 8 racks against a player who is incredibly likely going for a 9 pool is going to be rough. Because essentially... Okay, it's not going to be a 9 pool. But I don't think we're going to see a 12 hatch. Maybe he does, and maybe Zealot just proves me wrong, but if you think about how aggressive Zealot is... I mean, he should be going for a quick pull here, but it is going to be a 12 hatch. This is a perfect situation for Radley. Now, how is Radley going to do this? Is he going to be a little bit... Oh, he's hiding a second barracks, so he's going to go for a 2 racks play here. And this is a very interesting choice to do against someone like Zealot. And the fact he's up against a hatch first means this is the perfect situation for this. Now, the one problem he'll have is he's going to have to lift the barracks and put it on the low ground. But the Ghost King is getting ready for his own shenanigans in this game. There's no gas. It is going to be nothing but Marines for the time being. The hatchery timing has been scouted. And is he going to pull his SCVs as well? I feel like pulling his SCVs would be the best situation here because the lair is going to be late, the pool is very late, the lings are going to be late as well. And here we go, some SCVs are coming, and oh my goodness, Zealot's not going to see the SCVs. This could actually be devastating. He's going to see the Marines coming, but he doesn't know how many there are, and Radley isn't sending the... He's not sending the SCVs yet, he's waiting. The bunker is done. And we have got a bunker rush activated, ladies and gentlemen. Can Radley do what Boxer did to Yellow 3 games in a row in that fabled OSL final back in the day? Is Radley going to live up to his namesake from the first STPL season, which was the one where he played as Boxer? And is he going to be able to take down Zealot here, one of the best amateur Zerg players in Korea. Is the hatchery going to fall? The extra SCVs are coming up. An extra Marine is going to jump in the bunker. And there is going to be 2 Marines coming at a time now. But look at this, Zealot. He's going for a counterattack. He doesn't get... Oh no! Oh no, he's going to get the bunker. This is massive. What a great move by Zealot. Pulling the SCVs out of position. And suddenly Radley is in a lot of trouble. Oh my goodness. That was really, really good. Pull the SCVs away to make the wall, and then just go straight on the bunker anyway. There's no chance of you repairing it, and all of a sudden you're in such an incredible position. He's ahead in supply. No, he's not ahead in supply, but he's close. Now, it's not the end of the road for Radley. Radley does have his gas up. He doesn't have an academy just yet. He's building that now. And Zealot has built a lot of lings. Radley lost a lot of mining time, of course, but the hatchery is low. If he can push back in, he can still make this work, but I think he's almost going to have to go super all in. I think that's the only option he's going to have. And look at this, Zealot getting ready to try and break through these temples. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, he is. He's going to try and break through the temples. This is actually a pretty big deal. And Radley is trying to fly a barracks over to his opponent's side of the map to build some Marines in the main and run them in and go for maybe some firebat stims into the mineral line. But if Radley doesn't defend his back door, if he doesn't defend this area, it's going to be game over. Now it looks like Zealot did... Oh, Zealot's scouting around for the extra barracks. Zealot knows there could be like a factory or something up here, so he's checking absolutely everywhere. And if he sees this barracks, this is going to do absolutely nothing. It doesn't look like he will. And we've got a depot getting ready to defend this over here on the right. Oh, this is really good. He's glitching it through. It's actually quite difficult to do this. You really have to spam click to get over the buildings. So really, really nicely done. Radley getting ready, building a lot of units here. Now did the Ling see the SCV? I think he did. Yeah, the Ling seen the SCV going for the scout, and this is actually really good because Zealot is now not going to think there's going to be anything behind this. Now the first firebat is coming in with the medic. The muteless are back home as well. Looks like Radley getting ready to push through the map. Now this is really unfortunate that this got scouted, but it looks like he's going to try and stim past. Some Marines coming in behind this, going to start to attack some of the overlords. And I mean, Radley's still in an okay spot, but he needs to make something happen here. The Marines just aren't going to be enough. The Marine is going to fall here. He does have an engineering bay, but he's stuck on one base, and that is going to be a major, major issue. There's not too many muteless here at the moment. The muteless count will grow as the game goes on. Radley doesn't have a massive bioforce because he's only really been building off of the single barracks. And I think Zealot should have this game sewn up, especially with this temple going down as well, because he is going to have very quick access to his opponent's side of the map. And when that happens, you know you're in a lot of trouble. There we go, the temple has gone down. Very, very unfortunate here for Radley because Radley is going to have to defend on two fronts. The barracks is going to fall and Radley is going to be down to just one Rax production. A factory is coming in as he wants to tech up behind this. But with only one Rax worth of units, these Zealots paired with these Muteless should be able to kill him. It's a little bit unfortunate, but it looks like the Ghost King is going to fall to early aggression again. He was in a great position with his bunker rush, and then Zealot pulled him out of the position and killed the bunker. And that's pretty much put Radley on the back foot the whole game. But Radley's been fighting his hardest. The medic's not in a great position. The Ling's getting on top, and GG. Radley taps out, and Zealot takes SouL up 2-0. Zerglings and Mutas, not Zealots and Mutas. That would be unfair. Okay, let's go to a short break. When we get back, we'll go into game number 3.
STPL Season 3. Yeah. STPL does. Bio TVP? Wow! No problem. We got dragons to defend. Yeah. STPL das, STPL das. Mass Scout? Oh, I'm so afraid we got Hydralisk to defend. Yes. STPL, STPL. Fantastic production, fantastic casters, fantastic prize pool, only in STPL.
I'm about to overload my aggression inhibitors. Outstanding. Rock and roll.
Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be going into game number 3 with aSh versus SouL. It's one of the highest ranked teams against one of the lowest ranked from this season. It's not going to affect the playoff positions, but still, we've had a pretty fun series so far. Radley tried something interesting, but unfortunately he got counteracted. And it's going to be up to Spire to try and finish off the series here with a clean sweep. Obviously we will have game 4 anyway. But Spire, a very strong Zerg player on SouL, rank 8 in the STPL. It's been a while since we've seen him actually. He's not played since January. He's only played once this season as well, so he will have a chance to be put in to the playoffs because everyone is going to basically... because White fell out, there's a lot of teams that didn't manage to get two players to play twice, so they're going to be able to submit a fake lineup. So I think we're going to have Spire probably in the playoffs as well, which is why he's come out in week 30 or week 11. But either way, Spire a very good player. His opponent fighting for aSh is going to be Dreamer. Dreamer, one of aSh's kind of top players from Season 3. He's done a very, very good job in his last 10 games. He's gone 4-5 or 4-6, which admittedly isn't the best, but he's been up against some really good players, so not really too much to add there. The map they're going to be going into is going to be Byzantium 3. Let's get into it. It's going to be a PvZ. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand corner in the green, fighting for aSh, it's going to be Dreamer. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner in the white, fighting for SouL, it's Spire. Now we have Dreamer going for something a little bit interesting, going for proxy gates in the middle of the map. This is a very interesting situation to be in, but it's going to be a proxy gate against a 9 pool, so this could be a little bit rough. I have to admit, this could be rough for either player. If this gets scouted, or if the Lings run past and manage to make their way into the main, I get the feeling that Spire is going to win the game very quickly, but as long as Dreamer can get Zealots out quick enough, if he can get into the Zerg base with Zealots, it's pretty much game over. Because if he can get on top of the ramp with his Zealots, Spire is not going to be leaving his base. Now we've got Spire going for a drone scout. He is going to be scouting towards the top left-hand corner. And it does look like this is going to be a very quick game here, but it could go very, very long. Cheese versus cheese is usually the ones which go the longest. Because usually if a cheese fails, or if both cheese fails, then we're in a really weird spot. So let's see what's going to happen. This scout is going to be critical here for Spire, because Spire is building sixlings already, and he is going to run straight to his opponent's main, and there is going to be nothing these zealots can do to defend, but there's going to be nothing the Lings can do to defend his base. So we're going to have a base race here, which is very, very interesting. I feel like Spire will definitely... Oh no. Oh, Dream is going the wrong way with the Zealot. I think this could be game. Okay, the Lings have been scouted. He knows it's coming, but the Zealots did not go the right way first of all. But it's still going to be a very strong Zealot army. Oh, look at this, the creep colony coming in. Spire knows that something's up here. He's going to try and delay above his ramp as long as possible. And it looks like the Ling's going to come in here to the main base. The pylon is going to get taken down, which is going to supply block Dreamer, which means no more Zealots are going to be coming out here. Now the Zealots are unfortunately going to be focusing the hatchery. Looks like he is going to give up on that now and go into the main. But look at this. Look at this unit movement by Spire, creating a wall around the sunken colony. This is going to be so hard for Dreamer to win. Yeah, there we go. GG. Dreamer gives up, taps out, and Spire takes the game. This is a very fast game, but still not quick enough to go into our top 5. See you guys when we get back.
I am the Scatman. Para pa pi pa pa para pum. Pa pa para pum. Para pi pa pa para pum. Pa pa para pum. Para pi pa pa para pum. I am the Scatman. Scooby dooby dooby pa. Scooby dooby dooby pa. Scooby dooby dooby pa. I am the Scatman.
Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into game number 4 of the STPL's SouL vs aSh, the final group stage game for both of these teams. aSh is sending out Shad here. He's not done too well in the STPL so far, lost all 3 of his games, but this could be the time that he finally gets a win. His opponent going to be Mighty. Mighty doing a lot better, of course. He's at 5-for-1 in win ratio, an 83% win rate, which is absolutely crazy. The map they're going to be going into is going to be Core Breach. Core Breach, if you've not seen it before, is like the upgraded version of Innokoven. But Anonymous in chat says, because all the games have been very fast, Anonymous says that today is just proving Artosis right, that everyone is a scumbag cheeser aside from him. That's really good, I love that. Oh man, that's really funny. We have had a very fast day today, but to be honest, I'm kind of glad. Not because we're not seeing many long games, but because I am really tired today, and I just need a break. I need a break. Well, we're going into game number 4. This is on Core Breach. It could be a long one, so I could be going for another couple of hours yet on this map. So let's find out what happens as we get into this PvC. Okay, the game has begun, and starting us off in the left-hand side of the map here, spawning in the red, fighting for SouL, it's Mighty. And his opponent spawning up here in the top right-hand corner, fighting From Poland in the blue for aSh, it's Shad. Who, not to spoil anything, is not in chat today, just saying. Although I don't know when I last saw Shad, actually. He was probably there yesterday and I've just forgotten, but he's definitely not in chat today, so far. Not to prove Avi right, but let's see. And to answer Lucky Noob in chat, just saying that Terran is so weak that even Flash decided to switch from Terran. They were too weak to play, that was the problem. Although, it's a complete lie that he switched from Terran, because in every important game he still plays Terran and he doesn't play random. I know with ASTL he's playing Terran because he was seeded as Terran, but really I've not seen him play a single important match as random. He's just doing what he always does. He lies all the time about doing stuff. Do you remember when he said he was going to play Protoss in the ASL? That never happened. That never happened at all. He's just trying to hype up his stream, you know? Now it looks like we are going to have a hatchery first here from Shad, playing to the map. You'll notice that because of, we can't even see it, but this is a floor gun trap, it's invisible, and you cannot click it without detection, and it means you have to build the nexus off center, so... Now it looks like Mighty going to be heading into the right hand side here, going to scout the fact it was a hatchery first. The spawning pool and gas are coming up as well. Now, this isn't really a map that seems to tend to trend towards aggression that much. But it wouldn't surprise me to see at least some from one of our players here. Like we've seen in our game between Pitbull and Faust, we had Faust go for 3 racks in the middle of the map. And we also saw Pitbull go for a lurker rush. So yeah, we've seen some games today. We have definitely seen some games. We've seen at least 7 games. This is our 8th one, and it's going to be our final one today. But we've seen probably more games quicker than I think I've ever done. I think, to be honest, and this is probably a bad thing, but I've probably been on break longer than we've actually been casting the games. Oh, thank you, Muse Dozen, for the raid with... I couldn't read the number because apparently I can't read, but thank you for the 3-person raid, guys. Welcome. You're tuning in for the final game of today's STPL. Now we've got 3 hatcheries coming up here for Shad, who's playing very, very standard. He does have a drone scouting out everything as well. He knows about the expansion, and he knows about the Stargate, so he knows pretty much everything he needs to. It may only be a 3-person raid, but that's still a big raid, so thank you so much. And somehow my chat has become degenerate again. You guys, man. You guys are all degenerates. Maybe it's because I am. Maybe it's my fault. I attract all the degenerate people. To be honest, I shouldn't make that joke now on here, given the fact that there's actually some serious problems with some actual real degenerates across esports right now. So maybe I shouldn't make that joke, right? But I don't know. Like, it just, not great. So the game has lasted more than 5 minutes. This is one of the longest games we've had today, which is kind of weird to say. It's very, very rare that we don't have games less than 5 minutes. But we've got an Evolution Chamber coming up. We've got Spire coming up as well. We have the Spore Colony coming in to help defend against the Corsairs. And this is because he skipped the Hydra Den. So by skipping the Hydra Den, there's actually no anti-air right now. So the Corsairs could do a lot. But looks like the Spore finishing perfect timing here by Mighty. By Shad even. Sorry, I got my players mixed up. Now Mighty back home is going for a Citadel. Going to go into a Templar Archive shortly after this. Now it's kind of weird. It feels like Shad has no overlords, but there's one overlord here, and there's 4 in the main. Like, he just didn't fly his overlords out because he knew what he was going to go for. And he didn't need to fly them out, he had the drone, so... There we go. We've got 3 Corsairs now, which is going to make the Spore a little less powerful. It does mean these overlords are going to be in a lot of trouble, especially because they are quite heavily grouped up. Is +1 attack on the way? Yes, it is. When +1 finishes, this could actually be a really risky proposition to sit here, but the Spores are done, the Spire's done, and now we have some Scourge to help try and clean this up. The Probe's still alive over here at the 3rd base. And looks like some Mutas coming in here. This is actually a very nice timing from Shad. There's only a single cannon back at home. He's trying to focus down the Corsairs. Scourge, unfortunately, not in a position to connect. And now all of a sudden things are looking a little bit worse here for Shad. He's going to try and split his Muteless up. He is going to get 2 of them away. But that's definitely something you don't want to be losing. Now the good thing is for Shad, he's got 3 hatcheries. He's got 2 gas. And he's still in a good position, but... There we go. Hydroden coming up here as well as a 4th hatchery. There's going to be a 5th hatchery most likely coming up. Likely at the 2nd base, but could come up in the main as well. We've officially beaten the longest game of today record. There's still a lot of Mulas coming in, but is there +1 carapace? Yes, there is, but it's very late. And this means the Corsair count, if this continues to grow, this could be a little bit risky. It's definitely going to be a risky proposition pushing in against Storm as well. So a lot of cannons coming up in the main base. There's only 2 in the natural though. And there's no High Templar down here. And it's going to be impossible to get a High Templar there. So if we see Shad just build up enough Mutalisks here, he can definitely break through. But it looks like we are going to have some Hydras coming in now. So Hydras are going to be the state of play. He is going to break through these eggs, which will give him a push path towards the main, because there's no eggs here, but he will need to use his Muteless to kill the eggs here before he can go through. So this is almost 3 games from earlier today. Now we've got Shad continuing to try and expand. This is kind of funny. The Muteless are just laughing while looking at the drone killing the floor gun trap. Edward's asking me in chat if I'm good at cooking. Not really. Like, I could... Well, people who have eaten my food say I'm okay at cooking, but I can only cook simple stuff. So... I'm not very good at cooking. I just know how to time things well. Like, my mum and my nans were both very, very good cooks, and they taught me, so... Like, I can cook really good English food, but... I don't think I can cook anything that's like not English in origin because I just don't know how to do it. Oh my god, this is so many Corsairs, but Scourge coming in, getting a good couple of connections here. And oh my god, we've actually got Mighty breaking through the eggs as well. Storm Egg in position here to try and break through. And this could actually be a massive anti-timing here for Shad. Shad does not have his units in the right position, but as long as he puts some Hydras here, Mighty can't push through, but there's Storm, and Storm can allow him to do that. Yeah, I can cook a Sunday roast. It is really it's a meal. A Sunday roast is a meal. I can cook a Sunday roast. But there we go. Oh, this is much better. He's actually going to try and push more Hydras through. We've got 2 Hydras here, but he is going to be able to get through. The Ling is not in position, but some of the Dragoons getting caught off guard here. The Hydras in the middle need to move further forward, but obviously Storm is still going to be good, so he does need to be careful. The 4th base is up now. Is he going to start to mine from that? It's going to be interesting to see. We've got no Muteless harassment coming in on the other side of the map. The Muteless still back at home. No +2 carapaces on the way here. And it looks like Mighty is going to go for another way here. He's going to push through the right-hand side, go through the middle of the map. And this is so many Corsairs. All of the Overlords are going to die. Oh man, Shad is about to get so unbelievably supply blocked here. Oh, the Scourge. Oh my goodness, he gets a connection? How did he get a connection here? The Corsair is actually taking a lot of damage. Really, really nicely done. But Mighty coming in from the other angle. A lot of units are still up here in the top right hand corner. They need to get in a position to hold on to this area, or Mighty is going to be in a really nice spot. But looks like we do have a third base getting ready. Oh my god, that Storm is doing so much damage. 4 kills. Oh my goodness. What a Storm. Nasty Storm right there, as Artosis would say. And that could be it. I mean, there's a lot of... Oh, there is a lot of Lurkers coming in. There's not too much Storm, and there's no Observer with this army. If he can stall long enough with the Lurkers, we could still make it to 16 minutes. Shad is playing this really, really well. Like, yes, he took a lot of damage from the Storms, but it's not the end of the world. Although losing a lot of these Mutas is definitely going to cause a few problems. Now, the 4th base has not yet been scouted by Mighty. Mighty's still focusing a lot on the units at the front. I think Mighty is waiting for his observers to be done. Does he even... Yeah, he does have an observer, or he does have a robo, and the observer is actually coming in with the army now. So Mighty is still in a good spot. He's got a supply lead over his opponent, which is quite normal in PvZ. But looks like we are going to have Shad moving forward, trying to see what's going on. Now we've got the Corsairs trying to get ready to go over to the top middle. We've got a lot of Overlords coming in here. Oh no, this is actually the worst timing in the world. Oh my goodness, is he going to save the Overlords? He needs to save the Overlords. This is so much army. Oh no, he loses two Lurkers and 4 Hydras. He needs those back at home to defend against this army. And that was so unfortunate. Definitely playing a little bit too risky there, pushing the way he did. But yeah, that was a massive supply drop there for Shad, because that was a lot of units. Now another Overlord getting it taken down. The Lurkers coming back home. We've actually got... Oh no! A DT drop. 3 DTs getting dropped in the 3rd base. And he's got no detection over here. The Corsairs cleared up all of the Overlords, and there's no way to deal with them. Oh my goodness. I think this is going to be game over. The Corsairs are in a position the Hydras can't attack them as well, so... The hatchery going down immediately. DTs do so much damage, by the way. Like, it's almost ridiculous how much damage they do. And the Storm at the front going to be slowly breaking his way through. The High Templar getting focused down. I mean, that was a lot of Hydras to lose to get a High Templar with no energy. There's still 3 more Storms remaining. No, 2 more Storms remaining on this High Templar, but... This is still a lot of Lurkers, so it's not the end of the world for Shad, but he does need to be careful. He can't afford to lose any more units. The Corsairs going to the right-hand side. Oh my god, the DT's in the 4th base as well. And that is a little bit too much, I think. This is going to be the end of the game. Losing 2 bases, Shad is going to be in so much trouble. We've got a hatchery coming up in the bottom right-hand corner, but the DTs are going to be able to go kill it. Looks like we're going to have Mighty, or we're going to have Shad try and go for a counter, but there's 4 units blocking the path. I think this is just going to be game over. Looks like he is going to come back here. More Storms going down, not on too many units though, so that's actually going to work out quite well for Shad. Now there's a Queen here. If he can get an Ensnare down, that'd be pretty good. A nice Ensnare on the front Dragoons. But I get the feeling we're just going to see a lot of dead Zerg units here and a lot of very highly upgraded, very strong Protoss units pushing through. And this is very much going to be the end of the game. It's 2-1 upgrades against 2-1, but unfortunately there's just not enough units left behind. There's a big drop coming into the 3rd base. But he is going to be pushing into a lot of gateways here, and he's not even going to be able to get to the gateways, I don't think. And losing his main is going to be too much. GG, Shad taps out. And Mighty wins the game. Okay, so that is going to be the end of our second series. We had an incredibly fast cast today. An hour and 50 minutes, and it's not even that because I technically started like 6 or 7 minutes late. We did have a 4-0 victory for SouL, so they continue their unbeaten streak in this season. They are going to be seeded directly into the finals, and I mean, SouL are just incredibly good, so there's not really much else you can say about that. They're a very strong team. They've got a very strong option. They've got a very strong roster, and they always send the right players for the right maps, if we're being completely honest. aSh had a good couple of chances, but they just got a little bit outplayed in the end, which isn't as surprising. This is gonna be it for me. My sofa cushion is almost ready to go back on my sofa, so I can. The trouble is, I don't know if I want to sit on that bit of the sofa ever again, because that was always Lottie's spot. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough, but there we go. It's gonna be as it is. But that's going to be it for the stream for today. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, we will be back on Sunday at 1500 CEST. So it's going to be an afternoon stream on Sunday. We'll watch our final 2 series of the STPL Season 3 group stage. It's going to be Red versus IRK and DM versus Net Wars. I'm just going to reload the overlay so we can have a look at how this is looking before we go in to the playoffs, of course. Obviously, we've got 2 more series left. But massive thank you to our sponsors, Liquipedia, Esport Fund, and Matrino, as well as the community contributions we've had as well. So, looking at the table here, SouL 10-0 in the group. They beat everyone. They only dropped 4 games while doing it. Map contest, we're still doing the judging. It's been a little bit rough for me, so I'm a little bit behind in that compared to where I want to be. But Valhalla team, in second at the moment, but Net Wars have a chance. If they can win their final series on Sunday, they will be seeded into the semi-final over Valhalla team. IRK, they are going to be playing on Sunday as well. Eternal Friends have already played all their games. The reason why IRK have got 10 games played already is because they've got a penalty loss. But if IRK can win, they will be going into a higher seed as well, because they do have a better game difference to Valhalla team. So basically, looks like if... Okay, so if Red do not beat IRK, then Clan Revolution will be going into the playoffs. But if Red can win, they will win and go into the playoffs in 6th place. So Eternal Friends look like they're pretty much safe in 5th place. We've got IRK pretty safe in 4th as well, but they have a chance to move up. Net Wars looking like they could get 2nd or 3rd. Valhalla team will be 2nd, 3rd or 4th, depending on the score of IRK's games, and SouL Gaming in 1st. So one more game, or one more day left of the group stage. Thank you all for tuning in. I've had a lot of fun today. Hopefully you guys have had fun as well, and I'll see you guys on Sunday for the last cast of the group stage, and my last cast of my 20s. So see you guys then.